Hello everyone. Welcome to 4A, the first segment for week 4. We're going to continue to talk about marketing and differentiation for small businesses and franchises, just because that's such a vital issue for our startup companies. But it's not just an issue for startup, it continues to be an issue throughout the development of our franchise. So what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we are carefully strategizing as to who our niche market is, or our target market, and we want to make sure we're appropriately differentiating our product and services to make sure that we appeal to that particular target market. As we've learned in previous segments, we can't be everything to everybody. That being said, it becomes really important to be everything to the people we have chosen. So what do? We want to clearly identify who's probably the most likely individual to be interested in our product. So for example, if we're a Subway shop next to a high school, we're probably looking at trying to at least get a certain percentage of those high school students to drop in periodically. On the other hand, if we're a Subway shop next to a senior's home, we might be a lot more interested in trying to appeal to the senior marketplace. As you can imagine, we're going to do different things for each of those target markets. If nothing else, think about the kind of music we'd be playing. So we want to establish what's called our marketing objectives. And we want to do what's called the SMART goals. SMART goals are specific. So we might say something like, we want to make sure we get at least 10% of the nearby marketplace within the 30 days. And they should at least be trying our product or service, and hopefully we get at least half of those coming back within 2 weeks to try again. That would be a very specific and actually measurable goal. We could measure based on things like coupons or frequent use, some sort of frequent use program. We could actually ask people when they come in, are you returning or is this your first time here? These kind of measurements actually are fairly effective, especially for small franchises. We want our goals to be achievable and realistic. So let's say, for example, our goal is to have 85% of the marketplace come to our store within the first week. In all likelihood, that's not very realistic and would almost be impossible to achieve. You can see the relationship there. And then you want to make sure that it's a time-bound goal. So if you noticed in our first statement, we had a time constraint. We wanted so many people within a given period of time. And when we put all of those together, it gives us something to be shooting for and lets us know whether we're actually achieving our goals or not. And again, oftentimes we're going to find that our SMART goals are tied into our forecasts and basically our projections for how we expect our company to do. That allows us to anticipate certain cash flows and lets us know whether or not we're on track to meet those cash flows. So what do? We often achieve these goals through differentiation and positioning. Now, differentiation is how we're different relative to the competition. And positioning is very specifically how somebody places us in their mind relative to the competition. So let's say, for example, we might want the freshest product available in the local marketplace. That might be how we choose to differentiate. If we're looking at a teenage target market, we might choose an ambiance and a setting that's going to be highly specific to that teenage group. Maybe we're doing our advertising with flyers into the local high school. And the positioning might be that relative to the Wendy's or the McDonald's or whatever, they think of us as more hip, fresher, maybe cheaper, whatever. But we decide what's important to that particular target market, and we try to be that for them. So how do we differentiate? We can look at things like quality of our product. We can look at how convenient it is. Maybe we're the closest to the school. We can look at things like service. How quickly can we get those students in and out in a really quick period? Warranties and price can impact our delivery. Maybe we guarantee if they're not happy, they'll get their money back, although I must say that sounds a little risky in regards to high school students. But the bottom line is we're looking for the perceived customer value. We want our customers, which in this case we've identified as the local teenagers, as to think that we're the best thing going. And oftentimes, as we've talked about, asking them what's going to make it better for them is going to help us to achieve that value. When we look at positioning, we could position by any number of attributes, how the students look at us. We can look at price-quality relationships, and we can position by use or application. If you remember when we talked a little bit about being an umbrella salesperson, in the Northwest or the Northeast, we might have positioned our umbrellas for a rain protection. But in the South, let's say South, like the Arizona area, we might have chosen to look at product application in regards to sun protection. So again, there's a number of different ways that we can position. And then we can also look at product class. We're the best, we're the luxury provider, or we're the best value. We tend to be inexpensive. Ultimately, what we're looking to do is make sure that everything that we try to be is what our customer is looking for. And when we match those very well, we are then in a position to get their business. Something that we often see in regards to product or service is that there's a product life cycle. When we look at product life cycle, we normally think of things like we introduce our product, there's a product growth period as we get more and more customers, then the product cycle, if you will, tends to mature. So we've gotten most of the people in our area, and without making changes, we're probably not going to bring in many more. And then at some point, we establish that maturity level, and then oftentimes we see that our product then goes into a bit of a decline. This is all very normal in regards to product life cycle, but by being aware of it, what we are able to do is anticipate future changes and, of course, modify our product or service to kind of keep bringing new life into it. So at some level, we're almost reintroducing our product and service as our marketplace changes or adjusts, or if nothing else, to change the perception. If people start thinking of us as that old shop on the corner, we don't want to be that. So maybe we do a remodel. Maybe we reinvent ourselves for the new up-and-coming teenagers coming into the school, things of that nature. So we want to make sure that we're always in constant contact and touching base with our clients, and that we're adjusting as need be for them. When we look at things like service products, we want to recognize that a service is intangible. In other words, you can't touch it, pick it up, and leave it, the service itself. That it's perishable, so if it's not used, it goes away. For example, if you think of an airline ticket, if there's 3 seats left vacant on a plane and the plane takes off and arrives, without having filled those seats, you can't get those seats back. They're gone. That's the perishable nature. It's inseparable. You can't separate the nature of the service from the provider. So if I go to your Subway store and today I have great service and tomorrow I have terrible service, probably we've got different wait staff, or our wait staff was in a good mood yesterday and a bad mood today. The bottom line is that they are closely linked, so it's inseparable. And then there's a certain variability in service. To the extent that we can provide the same service over time and at an excellent level, we're going to do a better job with keeping and retaining our customers. How does this all apply in regards to the big picture? Well, we want to understand who we are, and we want to make sure that we present that face, if you will, to our customer on a regular basis. We might establish websites specifically targeted to that target market, something that's going to be appealing to them. We want our site to be easy to navigate and easy to use. And ideally, we're going to link the website, to the service or product available. We see that all the time when you think about things like the Super Bowl. When you see the the commercials saying go to the website and do this, and then you're going to see it. You're going to have an opportunity to do something or get something additionally. Those are just ways that we see our websites linked to products or services and keeping customers engaged with us on multiple levels. I hope you feel a little more comfortable about product positioning and differentiation, and as you think about your franchise and what you plan to be doing, start thinking about who your customers are and what's going to make you special and different to them. You have a great day, and we'll see you with the second segment. Thank you.